themselves into trance to do psychic readings will be more aware of the client's non-verbal responses, or similar equipment will be more responsive to doing idiomotor or unconscious automatic movements to see is the subjective experience of total involvement of someone with the object of their awareness.
You're amused?
No, merely skeptical. How would you go about it?
I've used hypnotism more than once in healing. Not for profit. I'm not a professional. But I do think I could help you. If you'd care to...
I can't think of a pleasanter experience.
Now you will do exactly as I tell you.
In this episode, we will explore the prehistory of hypnosis from its earliest roots, including examples of hypnosis-like practices described in Egyptian and Vedic texts and the Bible. In the dark of the night, with stars twinkling overhead, in a time before recorded history, the flickering light of a fire can be seen glowing in the distance. As you approach, you can hear people singing, drums beating, and see people dancing. You notice that there is a certain quality to the behaviours of these people. They're all absorbed in the moment, absorbed in their singing, in the movement, unaware of your presence. None of them appear distracted or self-conscious. Long before the term hypnosis was used, people were engaging in hypnotic practices. Doing hypnosis is the process of focusing and absorbing attention in the moment and increasing responsivity. It is a way of enhancing non-conscious potential. This focused perspective that the hypnotized person views the world from within could be called a trance. There are many ways to do this, from engaging the imagination, using rhythms, stillness and repetitive movements, to holding focus on words, phrases, or a single point. Experiencing hypnosis is a natural phenomenon that is a fundamental part of being. For much of human history, people sat around telling stories as a way of conveying information and learning. One of the oldest hypnotic phrases is some variation of a story opener, like "Once upon a time." There are many variations that instantly start the hypnotic process of focusing and absorbing attention and increasing responsivity. People have been telling stories for thousands of years around campfires about what they did that day, about discoveries and new learnings, about dreams and ideas, myths and legends, and for healing and personal development. Oral hypnosis has probably been around since we first learned to communicate with words. Non-word-based hypnosis has been around much longer than this, like using touch, movement, dancing, music and directed focus. The use of touch to induce a trance and facilitate healing can be found in ancient texts and wall paintings from around the world, from Egypt, India and China to Japan, and in Greek and Roman texts. There were various ways touch was used. In some cases, it was static pressure on specific points of the body. Other times, it was tapping on specific points of the body. It was believed that applying pressure or tapping these different points would heal different ailments. Some practices involved applying pressure to different points on the feet, with the different locations on the foot being associated with different parts of the body and different problems. Others involved tapping or applying pressure to various points across the body, arms or head. Common among the Greeks and Romans was massage, focusing on calming and relaxing or invigorating the mind and body while stimulating healing and peak performance. For thousands of years, dancing and music has been used to focus and absorb attention and increase responsivity. Our bodies naturally synchronize with rhythms like drum beats. We've been responding to rhythms with dance for so long that it is an innate unconscious response to start moving and synchronizing with rhythms when we hear them. Drums would start to beat, and often at first people would listen along and start intentionally dancing. Then at some point the dancing just takes over. People end up absorbed in the experience of the dance, absorbed in their own self-expression of the rhythm. Ecstatic dancing, as it's often termed, would be used to achieve an altered state of bliss or ecstasy, to alter consciousness within spiritual practices, to connect with others on a deeper level, and to stimulate healing. Ecstasy is the subjective experience of total involvement of someone with the object of their awareness. In Greek literature, it meant the removal of the mind or body from its normal place of function. From the earliest times, people would focus on flickering flames or lights, or some other external focus. They would also focus on repetitive words, phrases, or sounds, like a chant or ringing bell. James Braid, often termed the father of hypnotism, recognized in the 1840s the similarities between hypnotism and meditation. That what he was describing as hypnotism was just a form of meditation, similar to that which has been practiced in India for over 2,500 years. Many cultures have engaged in tribal dreams, where to transition into adulthood, you'd have to have had a specific dream in a specific way, and only when you have the complete dream fully will you have the knowledge to be an adult. This is similar to how a modern-day hypnotherapist may use clients' dreams from session to session as the client makes changes to their thinking and behaviour by metaphorically addressing the underlying pattern of the problem. Shaman and healers often used dreams or entering a trance state as a way of diagnosing and curing illnesses. Within hypnosis and dreams, we can create creative connections we otherwise wouldn't have made. We can piece together and access inner knowledge and be more receptive to noticing instinctive responses or intuition. People who could do self-hypnosis effectively would be able to use whatever ritual works for them to guide themselves into hypnosis. And if they have knowledge to be able to access, like if they have a good understanding of the different local plants and their effects when consumed in different ways, or an understanding of anatomy and functioning of bodies that is above the knowledge of others in their tribe, then they're likely to be able to access this knowledge and make non-conscious connections to find solutions. The famous psychiatrist Milton H. Erickson used to say, "You know more than you know," referring to the amount of knowledge we have that we don't realize that we have. For example, we have a lifetime of experience of seeing people's faces change color as blood flow increases and decreases from moment to moment, depending on emotions and various other factors like whether we have relaxed or tense muscles. whether we've been expending energy or sedentary, and reflections on our diet and health. It even pulses with colour in time with our heartbeat. Someone who has seen lots of people with many conditions will non-consciously be building up patterns of what people presenting with different complaints look like. Once they've seen enough people, they become quicker at recognising signs of conditions people have presented with before, but also to have instinctive feelings about the type of problem someone may be presenting with, even if they haven't seen that specific problem before, because they've built up an instinctive knowledge base. Through much of human history, people have undergone various rituals as a way of entering some form of altered state or trance that gives them some ability they otherwise wouldn't possess. This could be perceived as an ability to consult with spirits or the dead, or to foresee the future or some other place in the present, or to access higher knowledge or wisdom, or to promote healing or pain relief, and to be able to comfortably undergo surgery or perhaps a ritualistic act like having a tattoo or maybe injuries to the body. What is really happening is that these people are connecting with themselves and becoming more responsive to their own inner responses and knowledge. This knowledge isn't always correct, but as someone experiences more, they become increasingly accurate. People putting themselves into trance to do psychic readings will be more aware of the client's non-verbal responses while in this state. Those who do muscle reading will be better at picking up subtle muscle movements while in this heightened state of awareness. Those who do seances with Ouija boards or similar equipment will be more responsive to doing ideomotor or unconscious automatic movement to move the glass or counter non-consciously to get seemingly meaningful answers the same way that dowsers do. While in a heightened state of awareness, dowsers will do better at picking up information from the environment around them, and without awareness will turn this into ideomotor movement without realizing that they're the ones that are actually moving the dowsing rods or pendulum. There are examples of dowsing being used throughout history to find water and locations to dig wells. If the dowser has an intimate knowledge of the environment, they can notice the subtle differences in vegetation and the behaviours of other animals that reveals the location of water sources. In part 2, we shall explore Jesus' commanding power and examples of hypnosis in ancient texts.
Hey, you made it to the end. I really appreciate it. Now do me a favor, hang around for the credits.